Greetings, space enjoyers. I am back from vacation, and without further ado, there has been the bi-weekly update for Upstream. We'll start off with the new station that is referred to as Loop Station. Loop Station is a medium population station that features a very centralized looping structure. In the center, in a pretty much a rectangular fashion, we have security and medical, and I will just immediately go showcase that off. Security is pretty much attached to medical, not quite. There is this like maintenance hall in between. This features a direct maintenance hall to the armory. However, the armory is actually realistically only more like one wall thick, because you can just very easily open this door, close it, and then you only have one wall to dismantle. No one's really going to notice you do it. You could weld this door, bolt it, put something in front of it, put a wall here so security can't use it directly. Not like they have to go all that far to get to you. They could just cut through here. But anyways, enough. I don't want to specifically analyze every little detail of a map. I usually end up getting into a bad habit of that. So we can see medical bay is indeed attached to it, and I am sure chemists absolutely love this setup just immediately. The chemistry lab is literally bigger than the lobby. It's almost as big as the treatment room, but this also features like this big standardized treatment room. So we are seeing this station use a lot of more modern space station practices. Pretty much every medbay ever that has separate rooms for treatment, people just tear the walls down and make a big room for treatment. So we see that standard practice. Hydroponics has a ton of trays. There is a serving window to the main bar area. It's a very cozy bar. It even has a little theater here with curtains for the performers to change, hide their acts. I think that's really cool looking. Other key features here is the bridge is north facing. This bridge is rather unsecure. The AI core, thankfully, is not only just connected by lattice, but it's still really weak. An RCD would separate the AI from the station in no time flat. Other nice features here to note is that there actually is redundant docks, so for how many shuttles there can be at a time, it's nice seeing stations have these redundant docks rather than just arrivals, evac, and cargo. Science features a 2 artifact room, but I will note that these artifact scanning rooms are very close to a public hall, and also probably intentional. They're connected basically to a gas can that is shared between Atmos, which I really like seeing this design come back, shared gases between Atmos. But if this artifact were to explode, it's going to be pretty nasty in this room. Atmos is directly below science. There is also another unique feature here is the power system is basically fully modular, and this is a unique feature. All the things come in their own flat packs. You have the radiation collectors, plasma tank crates, grounding rods, whatever. You could build your own power network here. So it's going to take a little bit of extra time to fully set it up because there's nothing preset other than the wires. We also have a new map, and this is referred to as Gate Station. This is by far the most complicated, intricate station made in all of Space Station 14. This station is a massive ring-like structure that doesn't even resemble any normal space station. Rather than just flying around and looking at the whole thing, we can see that each of these little arms or branches of the station features different departments. We have medical on the north-facing side, we have science on the northwest-facing side, AI satellite is connected in between. West side is the area for just like disposals, some more basic just civilian jobs. So you have like the courtroom, the lawyers. The bridge is also attached to this center-like structure, which I'm currently featured at the bridge physically in my location. The bridge is also really cool looking. I like this like inner control room, makes it look more like a ship than a station, just, or at least it gives me the vibes of that, like Ender's Game or something. Now, other features worth mentioning on this station, other than its unique design, is that they feature unique shuttles, kind of like how Aspid did, but there's multiple of these. So, for example, next to the bridge is the command shuttle. There's also a taxi that is referred to as the based taxi, and this is locked by cargo. There's even a security shuttle, so for any weird spacefaring fights, this is a possibility. It even comes with a perforator, which is probably something that most players have never seen. It even comes with ammo for the perforator. So I feel like this station actually tries to make full proper usage of mechanics in the game that have just kind of sat in the background. Weirdly enough, and non-standard, security gets retro lasers. I could psychoanalyze this map for hours, or I'll showcase the rest of it. So southwest is your engineering arm, and the very south is cargo salvage. The southeast arm is security, also as well. Evac and arrivals are in the same exact place. And if you're ever worried about how to get around the station rather rapidly, there is no worry about this. There is this hub for gateways that tells you where to go. Or this one points up to Psi, you walk into the science gateway, and it's a teleporter, it brings you right to science. So the station is very physically distant from each other, but you have all these teleporters here to make the station feel smaller than it is. So you're never too far away from any services or your jobs or just anything in general. However, this gateway area is obviously going to be a very high point of contention. Holopads have been added to the game, and this has been a long requested feature from Space Station 13. Holopads are literally just pads that project holographic images of the person using that holopad. In this case, this is actually the station AI. The station AI can physically present themselves through these holopads by literally just clicking on them and being able to transmit themselves to any holopad that is powered. They are able to talk to you locally, so I can say hi to them, and they will hear me in their local chat, and they can talk to me locally, so we can directly communicate to each other physically without having to use a radio. This makes the AI feel more connected to the game. I'll showcase it from the station AI's perspective how this works, and it's really simple. You could just click on any holopad on the station, and you have two options. Activate projector, which will just make you physically appear at this location. You can still interact with computers from here, and anything that you would have seen in the room normally will let you see that. The other person can actually still kick you off of it if they want. They can intentionally end the call, which will just kick you back out into your AI. Another thing you can do is called the emergency broadcast. Anyone with the command access or the AI can make an emergency broadcast. And what this does, this actually projects you to all other holopads that are connected and lets you talk through them at once. What this does is it lets you make an in-person emergency announcement rather than something done over the radio. So if I were to walk away real quick over to a different holopad in a different room, you would be able to see that the AI is projecting themselves throughout every single location. Here, it actually is just a call sign or a telephone sign, and it says control this device has been locked to the AI's name. It will automatically unlock it for 50 seconds, so they can't hijack it forever. However, if they were to keep issuing messages, everyone on the station next to a holopad that has this call sign would see it happen, and it would even display the AI talking through it if they are presently talking. So it's not just the cell phone icon, it will change to whoever is the most recent person talking on the holopad. So that's another fantastic and awesome use. It lets you basically physically see possible warnings the AI is giving you rather than wanting to use like command radio or public radio or something. This will let people more clearly see it because it won't be in your chat bar. It'll be physically present that somebody is trying to communicate with your department or possibly the entire station. Another fantastic feature of the holopads is the fact that people can request to talk to the AI from any holopad. So the captain just requested to talk to me in botany, and you'll get a pop-up saying your presence is requested by whoever ends up calling you. This lets you teleport directly to a holopad anywhere, so there's no more having to chase your camera across the station trying to find out where somebody's trying to contact you. Holopads give the AI vision, so this is again a great boon for the AI. You can now physically end up talking to anyone who ends up needing you, figuring out if there's any requests you can solve, possibly even open a door if somebody's stuck. There's just so much possibilities and capabilities here, and just great roleplay potential as well, to just be able to physically see the AI is there with you, not just interacting with a door or something. Just having the physical model here really does a lot. Another great feature here is that you can also just call anyone. It doesn't even have to be the station AI. So for example, I'm still in the AI, and you can see that a holopad is being called if it is blinking repeatedly like this. If you click on it, it'll say incoming holo call from whoever is calling you. I will click on it, answer the call, and it will show their holograph coming to me directly. So now they can talk to me physically. So if they say just hi or something, they will say hi as if they were standing right next to me. And if I were to say hi to them, you would actually see them say hi back. So this lets you have a direct physical conversation with anyone across the station. Of course, I can't see into their room because I'm not the AI this time. However, this still lets you have a general idea of what is happening and who is talking. And for example, if somebody else starts talking, that person's hologram will be presented instead as well. So there's also the possibility that you can have like a meeting without other people chiming in. So if you stay silent and not talk on the holopad, you can possibly end up transmitting information to multiple people when you thought you were only talking to one person. Again, great gameplay potential, great roleplay potential through this system. Generally, that's pretty much it about the holopad. It's really just a fancy cell phone where you get to see each other. The AI has the most usage for it. So you can call the AI can make emergency announcements, command members can make emergency announcements. Just really great features in general there. Also, if the person you were talking to ends up walking away, the icon will actually end up replacing itself with a generic like cell phone icon, and it'll even start blinking away if the person has left the call for too long. It's also worth mentioning that you can actually cut the AI wires from the Holopads, so you can cut the vision or cut the ability for the AI to interact with them directly. So syndicates also have ways of sabotaging these without destroying them entirely, just in case you were worried about that. There are certainly other things you can end up utilizing with the Holopads, but this is really just explaining the base system in case you are not aware of how it works. This really, again, is just a way to communicate with people more closely without having to use things like a radio. It gives you almost like a physical way of calling someone. Awesome work, and thank you for watching. The atmospheric network monitor has been added to the game, and it does what the name implies. It lets you see the entire station's gas network, so blue for distro, red for waste. You can even see things like the tag. So for Bagel, for example, things are even labeled more intricately, so you can see the tag hot loop, tag cold loop, and then of course there's distro, waste, and even cryogenics. So it even shows where pipes are disconnected, so this will really massively improve the ability for Atmos to deal with, say, like somebody makes a passive event into space, which is a pretty popular tactic. This will help you deal with that rather well. It's just a really nice looking map. It now is like the power monitoring console, so now engineering can really see what's wrong with the station and respond accordingly. Speaking of monitoring consoles, devices that have batteries will now show the battery charge specifically. So the SMESs, you can see which ones are draining at what percent due to their wattage or their pull. This can also help you figure out certain things like, well, there you go, to solid hit 0%, so the power flickered. Holy damage has been added. You can get this through things like the Bible or holy water. If you hit a revenant with holy water, you can see that, well, it will tell you that you hit them with the holy water, and this will actually end up doing holy damage. This only affects revenants right now. I'm kind of surprised it doesn't end up affecting things like Cerberus, because that's definitely an unholy abomination, or at least I don't think it does. The PR says it's only for revenants, but I think it would also make sense to end up adding this for things like Cerberus in the future. When somebody drags you, there will now be a UI pop-up telling you who is dragging you. This could be especially useful in a crowd of people, and in general, just to let you know that you actually are being grabbed as to why your movement might stutter or something like that. Advanced SMESs have been added to the game. They're also now featured for maps on round start, so there will be more power in the beginning of a round. Anyways, in order to make more of these, they are a tier 2 science research, so if you lose the round start ones, they may not be replaceable very easily without science's help. New salvage scrap has been added to the game. They are generators. So one is a plasma generator that is leaking, so a Pac-Man, and then you have a super Pac-Man, which is leaking uranium. So recycling these will end up giving you plasma and uranium respectively. So now there's even more ways of getting these materials without having to mine, making salvage overall even more profitable if you end up finding some of these pieces of garbage. They are large though, so you do have to physically drag them, so it's still not going to replace mining in any fashion for getting an abundant amount of these resources. Gun safes are not craftable. They require 10 pieces of steel, 5 low voltage cables, and 10 plasteel. So you can end up replacing lost gun safes without having to order them, or just use it for your own stash or some sort. Whatever the case may be, it's cool to see them craftable now. The ever popular energy shotgunners will see some changes. Primary thing that's worth mentioning is that the energy shotgun will recharge on its own after not being discharged for some time, so it's back to its original unique state. The way the battery drains has also been changed, so Disabler uses only 1/10 of the battery per shot, Wide uses 1/8, and Narrow uses 1/6 per shot. They're not unique ammo types per each one, it's just using a different drain from the battery depending on the mode, so it's cheaper to disable somebody than it is to use narrow shots. Also worth mentioning is that energy weapons no longer have a misprediction on the ammo recharge. So if I sit here and let it recharge, we'll actually see the ammo counter go up when it's ready. If you've been playing for any amount of time, like using the antique laser or the energy shotgun when you used to recharge, or even like an advanced laser rifle, you would note that the ammo count would end up not going up until you ended up shooting again. So this lets you keep a better track of your ammo in general. Grenades like the Stinger grenade will now chain react when hit with other explosions, so this could have very interesting implications depending on what ends up chain exploding, whether it be like a shrapnel grenade or incendiary grenade, or even a Stinger grenade on an officer exploding and disabling them instantly and doing a ton of damage because it'd be exploding in their pockets. This is more of an RP-centric PR, but I'm still going to include it. A lot of drinks have had their flavor profile updated or just given one, so just for example, if you drink a gin, it'll say fermented grain and juniper berries. Just good for roleplay, being able to talk about the drink you're getting. I like roleplay stuff. Zombies can now see who the initial infected are, indicated with a purple skull. So this could let zombies coordinate better, or coordinate in quotations, with the initial infected. I suppose different servers are probably going to incorporate if you're allowed to attack the initial infected or not. But as it stands right now, you can actually still kill the initial infected as a zombie, so we will see how different servers implement this, or even how it changes upstream. Very minor change, but this often ended up being a problem. The initial time to call evac has been pushed from 15 to 25 minutes during Warops, so the nukies actually have time to get to the damn station before the evac is called. And the last thing I'll cover is just a meme item. It is the inversed lizard plushie, the Drazil Plushie, and inside of it is its own unique reagent that is, instead of juice that makes you wet, it is juice that makes you hue. I think that's probably the proper way of saying it. If you inject yourself with it, you will see that it's just the Wes sound, but backwards. It sounds more like hiccups to me, but I mean, you can see why this is going to be popular. Anyways, I'd like to thank our maintainers and contributors for their hard work, and I shall see you in the next one.